May 22, 2011. It was supposed to be an ordinary Sunday in Joplin, Missouri. Families gathered to celebrate high school graduations, churches were letting out, and restaurants filled with people enjoying dinner together. Children played outside beneath warm spring skies, while shoppers made one last stop before the work week began. It looked like another peaceful weekend in a city of nearly 50,000 people. Less than 40 minutes later, Joplin would become the site of one of the deadliest tornado disasters in modern American history. An enormous EF5 tornado would tear directly through the heart of the city, destroying thousands of homes and businesses, devastating a major hospital, and claiming 161 lives. Captured by storm chasers, security cameras, news crews, and ordinary people caught in its path, it became one of the most extensively documented tornadoes ever recorded. More than a decade later, those videos continue to show just how quickly an ordinary day can become a catastrophe. This is the story of the worst tornado ever caught on camera. The spring of 2011 had already proven unusually dangerous. Just weeks earlier, the historic Super Outbreak had produced hundreds of tornadoes across the southeastern United States, leaving entire communities in ruins. Meteorologists knew the atmosphere remained favorable for more severe weather. Warm, humid air from the Gulf of Mexico continued colliding with cooler, drier air moving across the plains, creating ideal conditions for powerful rotating thunderstorms. On the morning of May 22nd, the Storm Prediction Center warned that parts of Kansas, Oklahoma, Arkansas, and Missouri faced another significant threat of severe weather. Although forecasters mentioned the possibility of strong tornadoes, most people went about their day as usual. Tornado watches were common during spring, and many storms passed without causing major damage. By early afternoon, a thunderstorm developing over southeastern Kansas quickly caught the attention of meteorologists. As it moved towards southwest Missouri, radar showed the storm strengthening into a rotating supercell capable of producing a violent tornado. At 5:09 p.m., the National Weather Service issued a tornado warning for Jasper and Newton counties. Only minutes later, trained storm spotters confirmed a funnel cloud approaching Joplin. Television stations interrupted regular programming as meteorologists urged residents to seek shelter immediately. Outside, however, many people couldn't actually see the tornado. Heavy rain wrapped around the storm, hiding it behind a curtain of precipitation. Unlike the classic cone-shaped tornado often shown in photographs, this was a rain-wrapped wedge tornado, making it nearly invisible until it was dangerously close. At 5:31 p.m., tornado sirens echoed across Joplin. Some residents rushed into basements, bathrooms, or interior closets. Others hesitated, believing it was another warning that would pass without incident. A few stepped outside to look for the storm, unable to realize how close it already was. Just 3 minutes later, at approximately 5:34 p.m., the tornado touched down west of the city. At first, it appeared relatively narrow, but as it crossed open fields, it expanded with astonishing speed. Within moments, the circulation grew into a massive wedge nearly a mile wide. Hidden behind sheets of rain, it became almost impossible for residents to judge its size or even its exact location. Storm chasers watching from a distance immediately realized they were witnessing something extraordinary. Television meteorologists abandoned their usual calm delivery, urgently telling viewers to get underground or into the strongest shelter available. Radar showed a rapidly strengthening debris signature as the tornado intensified. By the time it reached the western edge of Joplin, the tornado had strengthened into an EF5, capable of producing winds exceeding 200 miles per hour. Over the next several minutes, it would tear directly through neighborhoods, schools, businesses, and one of the city's largest hospitals, leaving behind a path of destruction that would forever change Joplin and become one of the most unforgettable tornado disasters ever captured on camera. At approximately 5:37 p.m., the tornado slammed into St. John's Regional Medical Center, one of the largest hospitals in southwest Missouri. More than 180 patients, along with hundreds of doctors, nurses, and staff, were inside when windows shattered throughout the building. Sections of the roof were torn away, emergency generators were ripped from the structure, and the hospital was left without reliable power. Medical teams were suddenly forced to move critically ill patients through dark hallways, while the tornado continued raging outside. The storm pushed east through residential neighborhoods with incredible force. Entire homes were swept from their foundations, leaving only bare concrete slabs behind. Trees that had stood for decades were stripped of their branches and bark. Cars were thrown through the air, power poles snapped, and familiar streets disappeared beneath mountains of debris. In just a matter of minutes, entire neighborhoods became almost impossible to recognize. Among those caught in the tornado was 18-year-old Will Norton. Earlier that day, he had celebrated graduating from Joplin High School. As he and his father drove home, their SUV entered the tornado's circulation. The violent winds ripped open the sunroof, and despite his father's desperate attempt to hold on to him, Will was pulled from the vehicle. His story became one of the most heartbreaking symbols of the disaster and a reminder of just how powerful the tornado had become. By 5:43 p.m., the tornado reached peak intensity as it crossed Joplin's busiest commercial district. Major retailers, restaurants, and countless local businesses were devastated within seconds. Surveillance cameras recorded storefronts vanishing behind walls of flying debris, while drivers captured brilliant blue flashes from exploding electrical transformers. Those recordings would later become some of the most recognizable tornado footage ever filmed. One reason the Joplin tornado remains so well known is the extraordinary amount of video captured that day. Storm chasers documented the massive wedge from outside the city. Security cameras continued recording as buildings collapsed, and residents unknowingly filmed the approaching tornado until it was nearly upon them. Combined, these recordings created one of the most complete visual records ever assembled of a violent tornado, allowing millions of people around the world to witness the storm's incredible power. Inside homes and businesses, survival often depended on being only a few feet away from the worst winds. Many people survived by sheltering in small interior bathrooms, closets, or reinforced rooms, while nearby sections of the same building were completely destroyed. Others escaped with only seconds to spare before walls and roofs collapsed around them. At approximately 5:48 p.m., after carving a path nearly 22 miles long, the tornado finally began weakening east of Joplin before lifting. It had remained on the ground for just 38 minutes, but those 38 minutes forever changed the city. When the storm finally passed, the destruction was almost beyond comprehension. More than 8,000 buildings had been damaged or destroyed, including nearly 4,000 homes. Over 1,000 people were injured, and 161 people lost their lives, making the Joplin tornado the deadliest single tornado in the United States in more than 6 decades. Damage exceeded $2.8 billion, making it the costliest tornado in U.S. history at the time. Rescue operations began almost immediately. Firefighters, police officers, paramedics, National Guard units, and thousands of volunteers searched through collapsed homes, businesses, and vehicles, hoping to find survivors beneath the rubble. Temporary medical centers were established after St. John's Hospital became unusable, while churches, schools, and community centers opened their doors to families who had lost everything. In the months that followed, engineers and meteorologists carefully studied every aspect of the disaster. Their findings led to improvements in tornado warning systems, emergency planning, hospital design, and building construction. The lessons learned in Joplin continue to influence how communities prepare for violent tornadoes today. Today, much of Joplin has been rebuilt. New homes, schools, businesses, and a new Mercy Hospital stand where destruction once covered the landscape. Although the city has recovered, the events of May 22, 2011 remain deeply etched into its history. For meteorologists, engineers, emergency responders, and the people who lived through it, Joplin remains a defining moment in modern disaster history. The lessons learned from that day continue to shape tornado forecasting, emergency planning, and building design across the United States, helping communities become better prepared for future storms. More than a decade later, the Joplin tornado continues to be studied not only because of its incredible strength, but because it was captured from so many different perspectives. Those videos have helped scientists better understand violent tornadoes, while reminding millions of people why every tornado warning should be taken seriously. The tornado lasted just 38 minutes, but its impact will be remembered for generations. If you enjoyed this documentary, subscribe to EpicWildSphere for more real tornado stories and natural disaster documentaries.